All right, next we have Cowboys and the Falcons. We have ooh, Brandon Weeden making his debut, huh? I shouldn't say
This is
debut. I
what's
mean, he's
well,
been in the NFL already, but
right. It's starting for the Cowboys,
yeah.
but Brandon Whedon. This is what's crazy. I don't know if you knew this. I It has been talked about some. He actually set a Cowboys franchise record for most consecutive completed passes.
I did not know that.
And he was three shy of the all-time record. He has 21, and I think the all-time record's 24, and that's Donovan McNabb.
Hmm.
So Brandon Whedon has been playing. He was 7 for 7 last week, actually. I mean, he's been playing good. I don't know, he's a backup, so you have to wonder how long can you trust in a backup.
Yeah.
Some guys like Brady were a backup, and Breeze and Rodgers were all guys that were backups that emerged once they were given the chance as this great player. I don't know if I'm not saying that Whedon is the next Brady or Breeze or Rodgers, but I mean, you just have to wonder how long is he going to sustain it. If he sustains this level of play while Romo's gone, then the Cowboys, I know they lost, but I mean, shit. I mean, the Falcons got their running game together like we've never even seen.
No one expected. There was a lot of
But
things I didn't expect from this
right,
game. I didn't expect Whedon to play like he did. I
right,
mean, the fact that when they were up 28 points, I was like,
right.
shit, they got this game in the bag, like no problem. Uh,
What a yeah, the Falcons, like what a it's sort of like the Colts and Titans game. What a two different halves were like two different ball games.
yeah,
You know,
yeah, it was. I mean, I guess congratulations to the Falcons. You know, you came out there and you didn't give up, and you established a plan that worked. Like
right?
obviously, and you know, how much do you want to put that as like, well, is it Brandon Whedon? Doesn't know how to close games? Is it that
No,
um, you know,
uh,
even their running game looks Atlanta's running game looks stellar, but even Cowboys' running game looks stellar. So
well, even the passing game. I mean, Julio Jones went off.
he did.
Atlanta is like, I like to poke fun at. I'm a Saints fan, obviously, so I like to shit on Atlanta when they're given the opportunity, but they look good. They really do. We haven't really talked about it. I don't know if anyone's really talking about it, but Atlanta, if they get through Carolina and get to the postseason, they look like they could do some damage.
Hmm.
And there's nothing expected of them this year. Like the year they were number one seed, and I had all this pressure, and they blew it. Okay, well they had never really been to the big show other than one time before.
Hmm.
So, but when there's no pressure, a lot of times that's when you see these surprise teams come up and win it all. Think, well, when Green Bay won and the Giants upsetting Patriots twice.
Yeah. When you come out as
Uh,
this underdog, it's almost
yeah,
you don't have that pressure to be number one.
right. There's no pressure on the Falcons, so they can play good football. I think they'd be happy to stay under the radar.
Hmm.
Win the division. Them in Carolina looks like they're in it for a dogfight for the NFC South this year.
And I'll say this about Atlanta is I'll put this out here right now is I actually would think that Julio Jones is going to be the best running or running back, well, wide receiver this year.
I think so too. Either that or Steve Smith looks like he's trying to make him
He is
work
a
maybe
top
on his last
contender.
year.
He is a
Right.
very top
But
contender to
but
fight with
going
that.
forward, Julio Jones seems to have displaced Calvin Johnson from his throne.
Yeah,
I think as the best receiver in the
I
game.
think multiple people have. I don't think even Calvin Johnson's a contender the way the Lions have been
No,
playing.
no, but I guess it maybe started last season.
Hmm.
But there's definitely a new crop. It's kind of this theme that I mentioned earlier. You're in the middle of the decade, I guess, and you're seeing this always happens. Obviously, there's a period where the new powers rise, the new faces, the new names,
Yeah.
and you're seeing a shift in a lot of these traditional players. And Calvin Johnson might bounce back. I mean, we had written Larry Fitzgerald off, and look at him. He's actually a contender for it too.
Yeah.
A little bit of a dark horse contender. I don't think he's quite that good to be number one, but I mean he's up there.
Yeah.
So, and
I honestly think that
I
Julio
mean,
Jones is
Des
really
Bryant, who's injured right now, is
well, and that's
there too.
exactly it. Like Dez, I is it's almost like an unfair thing. Like Dez is out, Antonio Brown, is probably up there for at least top five, but like
Right.
I want to put him as number one purely because like Roethlisberger's out too, and I'm not gonna think that Antonio Brown will get as many catches, as many
Right.
targets as what he potentially could have. And it's almost like an unfair advantage in a way, but it's also just kind of the way football works, you know.
Look, yeah. If you can stay healthy, if they all, I mean, Julio Jones up to this point, maybe the reason he wasn't the best receiver is because he's always getting hurt.
Yeah,
I mean, that's just part of the game. He hasn't
yeah,
been able to stay healthy a full season. So if he stays healthy the full season, I mean, he looks damn good right now.
he
You
does
know,
look damn good. He looks damn scary, and I envy everybody who has him on their fantasy team.
that would be me in our league. But I mean, he looks like what the Saints wish Brandon Cooks was right now. You know,
Yeah, that's even more surprising too, is because before the season started, Randy Moss said that Brandon Cooks was
yeah,
the wide receiver to watch out for this year, and instead it was a bunch of receivers no one thought to emerge. I mean, well, Julio Jones actually isn't surprising because he was good
right.
last year too,
The
but
more surprising thing actually wasn't even the wide receivers. At least not this week. It was Devonte Adams, right, running the ball.
not Devonte Adams
I mean,
and Monte Freeman.
Monte Freeman. My bad. I'm having flashbacks, dude.
Yeah,
But
yeah, exactly.
yeah. Freeman, dude. Was it 3 touchdowns?
Yeah, three.
Yeah. Like the Falcons' running game just kind of came out of nowhere. It came together, you know.
Right. It was something like Falcons not really known for the past few years of having this explosive running, and this
Right.
game, yeah, it all really came out.
It'll be interesting to see if this was an outlier or if this becomes the normal, you know.
Yeah, and that's
Because
kind of what I'm waiting for too.
this was a really interesting game, I think, this week. And Cowboys and Atlanta are both two teams that are contenders for their division.
Yeah,
So it's gonna be. I'm looking forward to seeing these two teams going forward. You know, it's two teams I don't really care for. So I hated seeing one of them win, but I like seeing one of them lose. So,
the bittersweet.
but a little bit. But they're both definitely contenders, and Dallas playing the Saints this week, and I guess we can talk about in predictions, but it's a dangerous. I think it's a little bit of a trap game, maybe, because you're looking. Oh, the Saints haven't won, but Dallas is a little bit wounded right now. Uh, they better watch their ass, basically. You know, you don't want to go in there too confident,
And
thinking, "Oh, I
if
got
Breeze
this."
doesn't play, you're gonna see two
Right.
teams go without their starting quarterback, which that's kind
No,
of
I was
weird.
gonna wait to mention that, but you might be seeing the Brandon Weeden and Luke McCown show. So that would be weird, right? They put this game in prime time, expecting
Uh,
you get to see Tony Romo and Drew Brees square off. They usually put this game in prime time when it happens. They have the last 2 years, and they put it in prime time expecting the same thing, and so maybe the TV network getting a little screwed over by this occurrence. But you know, that's football, man. What can
yeah,
you
it
do?
is. It really is. Yeah, we'll have to see